Presented by AA Best Bell Bonds and Ewald Kubota. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 FM. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Remember that big hubbub about the Falcons at 8 taking Michael Penix Jr. instead of a pass rusher? Well, they solved their pass rushing need just now, as Adam Schefter's reporting that the Patriots are sending Pro Bowl pass rusher Matthew Judon to the Falcons in exchange for a third-round pick. Vikings quarterback and first-round pick J.J. McCarthy underwent meniscus surgery. He's now out for the year.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That goal is history! A walk-off home run!
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for joining me, however you may be joining, whether that's on 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. If you're listening via our AA Best Bell Bonds audio player, or if you are live on YouTube, go to YouTube, search SA Sports Star, like, subscribe, follow along to the show. You can comment along with the show, like Vince, Miss Becky, and Fred Records already in the bullpen chatting it up. Like I said, in Sports Center, there was a big hubbub made at the top of the draft when Michael Penix Jr. got taken by the Falcons, which I thought was a brilliant move in the first place, and having your succession plan in place for Kirk Cousins, who was only on a 3-year deal anyway, kind of the Jordan Love situation. And the big question was, well, you need a pass rusher. You need a pass rusher. Well, they just got it. It proves that, once again, as Stephen Jones likes to say, talent acquisition is a 24/7, 365, or in this case, 366, seeing as this year was a leap year job. The Patriots are sending Matthew in exchange for a third-round pick in 2025, solving the need that they could have gotten at 8, missed out on the quarterback that they wanted or liked extremely well. And for all intents and purposes, that first pass rusher didn't even come off the board till the middle of the first round, so no teams viewed Dallas Turner or Lafu Tutapu, any of them, as worthy of a top 10 pick this season. So it's one of those things where you look at it and we make knee-jerk reactions to team building when in actuality it is a long-term thing. The NBA is, much like the NFL, turning into a 24/7, 365 type of job or type of season. You've got the full season from training camp in October through the June for the draft and finals, and then July for free agency, and you get this little lull in August and September that kind of NFL's ramp-up period. Well, the NBA is starting to encroach on that as they're doing schedule releases tomorrow. They released the group play portion of the NBA Cup, which is known as the in-season tournament. Spurs are in Group B. They'll host the defending in-season tournament champion Lakers to open things up November 15th at 6:30, a game they'll be on ESPN. Then they'll host the Thunder a few days later on the 19th at 8:30 on TNT. Then they take on the Jazz in Utah November the 26th and Phoenix December the 3rd. Those games both on NBA League Pass. And the NBA is always a Jordan versus LeBron, legacies, Steph Curry, and with LeBron leading USA to gold, being the flag bearer for the Olympics, and with his performance winning the most valuable player of the Olympics throughout the tournament, his legacy is once again coming up on where he ranks. And the morning huddle with AJ and Rob, which you can listen to every single day from 6 to 10 right here on San Antonio Sports Star. And I recommend it. It's a great listen. I listen when I'm in the gym getting ready for my day. But they had this great conversation about LeBron's legacy and where it stands.
Dan Volken, USA Today, wrote an article over the weekend that said LeBron James was the best player at the Olympics. Shame on the Lakers for wasting his brilliance. And it's funny because LeBron, he really was the best player at the Olympics.
No question.
He is still so clearly, like, he sees the game. Like, if you watched any of the Team USA, you can tell that he sees the game in a way that other guys aren't seeing it. And he knows where guys are going to be. Not only his guys, he knows how defenders are going to react. I mean, he's playing chess. But it's funny because, and Wolken admits to this, a lot of people are saying this. People thought that LeBron was kind of washed.
I did.
There were people saying if they were really taking the 12 best, LeBron wouldn't even be on this team, which
that's kind of crazy, but
it is kind of crazy. I mean, he was third team All NBA again.
But I don't think people would have been shocked, AJ, if Steve Kerr, after they came out of practice, had LeBron coming off the bench. And we would have gone, well, he's always been a servant leader, and he's going to be that guy no matter when it was. We'd all gone, well, time clicks for everybody.
Yeah,
and we'd have just carried on. But that wasn't even close to the case,
dude. What he did at these Olympics is going to make Team USA probably ask him to come play in 4 years. He probably won't.
And we have a player coach,
but they're going to ask him to almost certainly, because his value. I mean, he's so valuable to this team and really as a player. But now he's saying, think about the Lakers are going to be. They didn't really do anything this offseason. They went 47-35 a year ago, finished 7th in the West. Saying, after watching James plow through everyone at the Olympics, I'm actually now enraged at the Lakers front office for fiddling around on the fringes the last few years while time runs short on this once-in-a-lifetime career.
Well, the bad news is, Dan, and I appreciate the sentiment, is as bad as Charlotte is, as bad as Detroit is, they're not South Sudan. They're not. Yeah. I mean, let's put as close as the French and the Serbians and the Spanish have gotten over the years. The sum total of international basketball isn't even close to the totality of the NBA. And yes, LeBron bulldozed through a couple of international teams. He can't do that in the NBA anymore. There's a reason why we thought he was done. But I do think Wolken is justified in saying that the Lakers have gone ahead and pulled the plug on something that they didn't need to pull the plug on, that they should have been a lot more active, not maybe from here counting forward, but for the last couple of years, he's far better than I think a lot of people realized because, Anthony Davis wasn't all that all the time, and draft picks didn't turn out, and internal turmoil and the improvement of the rest of the West because kind of got to the point where he felt like he was Tom Brady at the end of New England. Like, well, you're just kind of running out of steam. How are you going to close your career down? And it probably won't be here. And that isn't the case. He's still good enough to be there and good enough to carry a team to a title. But I think too much water's gone down the river. I don't think there's time now.
Yeah, I don't know what the Lakers could do. And here's something important to remember. If you're going to cuss the Lakers for wasting these years of LeBron, remember how much LeBron's fingerprints are on this roster.
Absolutely.
Part of the reason why LeBron has, but why it's AD and LeBron is, and not much else around him is because that's what LeBron asked for.
Well said.
And they've asked, I mean, now he's tried other pieces and they haven't worked.
Mhm.
But that blood is on LeBron's hands too.
You're right. This is the team that LeBron put together.
Yeah, it's not like Rob Pelinka was like, listen, LeBron, this is what I'm going to get you.
Oh.
This is,
By
if you
the
don't
way,
think
you better draft my boy too.
if you don't think LeBron's in on these meetings, I don't know what to tell you. But it does bring up, like, to me, when you watch this, you think about what happened over the last month with USA basketball. Like, we could have easily lost to South Sudan and LeBron bailed us out.
For him
Could have
alone.
easily lost to Germany and LeBron bailed us out.
Mhm.
When the Serbia game looked like it was over and we were going to play for a bronze medal, LeBron bailed us out. And then in the gold medal game, LeBron was clearly the best player.
Steph was unbelievable, but he was unbelievable because LeBron made it possible for him to be unbelievable.
Well, remember, Steph was like almost a non-factor the first few games of the Olympics. And then LeBron said, I'm going to make a conscious effort to get Steph his shots. And he did. And I mean, it's what the thing you can say with the most certainty is, and I know that I especially know in San Antonio, where it seems like people really hate LeBron, but almost everybody hates LeBron, it seems.
Well, yeah.
I think I'm going to say this, and I don't feel uncomfortable saying it. If LeBron weren't on Team USA, we wouldn't have won this gold medal.
There's no question. There's no question in my mind.
And I don't think you can say that about any other player. Like, if any other player was gone from Team USA, I think you probably still win it. Steph, you can make an argument, but KD wasn't what KD's been in the past years. And I know he was working back from injury or whatever, but he wasn't he wasn't the rock star that he's been in past Olympics. Joel Embiid had some really, really great games, but much like Steph early on, he was a non-factor. I mean, this was the LeBron gold medal.
Well, yeah, LeBron won the war. Steph and Joel Embiid to some extent and Kevin Durant
Anthony Davis
won
too.
individual battles, but LeBron won the war. I mean, they wouldn't have won the war. They would have won some battles, no doubt. And that's the thing about LeBron now. Now, I love this thread because if we look at LeBron like we look at what Tom Brady was capable of at the end, Nick Wright has a trade proposition floating out there that is a doable deal with the Lakers that also includes Golden State and Steph Curry that would land both LeBron and Steph Curry, get all these draft picks. They would be farmed out, and even a few would still stay with San Antonio. And if you believe that there's more gas in the tank, 4 years maybe, and there's more gas in Steph's tank, there are doable deals with the talent that the Spurs not only have, but all the draft picks that could land LeBron in a place where go out like Brady with Wemby. And there is, by the numbers, if you prognosticate and draft appropriately, the Spurs would still be able to manufacture a team that could last a decade, because once LeBron and Steph are done, the salary cap ramifications kick in, and you can bring in another couple of free agents at that moment to go along with the greatest player in the world at that time, which we assume will be Wemby in 5 years.
I think Steph is going to go the route of Tim Duncan and Dirk, and he's going to start and finish his career.
I agree with
in
that.
the same place.
But the premise that
I think he values that.
What Nick is getting at with his USA Today article is, if there is still gas in the tank, which by all evidence,
there's obviously gas. Yeah.
Maybe it's worth making a deal and prolonging the LeBron experience with the next best. And would you be willing to do that? And it certainly appears that LeBron has the capabilities of doing that. An interesting scenario that you thought was silly at first, but if you operate on the premise that there's more to LeBron than just a couple more years, that there is more in the tank, and he could legit play till 44 and still lose a little of what he's got now and still be a legitimate top 50 player, it might be worth the time and effort.
Do you think that LeBron, is there could LeBron, seeing what we've seen, could LeBron win another title?
Yeah, no doubt in my mind.
Can LeBron win another title as the best player on his team?
No,
No, I don't think so. And
No.
you know what? I don't think he's the best player on his team now. Like last year, he wasn't the best player on his team. But
what he commands is exactly what you saw. What it takes a third-year player 8 steps to do, LeBron could do it in 1 step. You know, he doesn't have to be what he was because he's so much smarter than everybody else in the building.
Yeah.
He's playing chess in slow motion while we are speeding around trying to play checkers.
well, listen. I know I'm in the minority. I still love to watch LeBron play. Like I think he's a fascinating player.
He is, because he's still playing at an elite level at such an advanced age, and that's just unheard of, especially when it comes to the NBA. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. Earlier today, a lot got into. Micah Parsons was on the Blitz. We'll listen to some of that interview coming up here in a little bit. But they were also joined by RJ Ochoa, who has been one of the most vocal against the way the Dallas Cowboys have handled their business. And the more that comes out, the more frustrating it becomes, and you can feel it. And I think it's starting to come across with the rest of the fandom when it comes to it. We'll let you hear part of that interview coming up next, right here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
JD, have you ever been at a bar or something and talking to some gay guy and you kind of put it out there you might be, just to get the attention?
No.
Just put it out there.
Not
John's experimenting.
Not
Late age.
experimenting
Yeah,
with
believe
nothing.
you
Danish
just
wife.
invited a room full of men to come sit naked in your hot tub during the break. All right.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Football season is among us. Experience the ultimate game day at 49 Cigars at the Village of Stone Oak, Suite 101. Enjoy our fine selection of premium cigars, and you can bring your own beverages. Catch all the action in style at 49 Cigars, where great cigars and unforgettable sports moments meet.
Vanguard is 100% client-owned, serving over 50 million investors every day. Whether you're planning for retirement, putting your kids through college, or saving up for your next adventure, Vanguard can help you set personalized investment goals. All investing is subject to risk. Vanguard is owned by its funds, which are owned by Vanguard's fund shareholder clients. Copyright 2024, The Vanguard Group, Inc. All rights reserved. Vanguard Marketing Corporation Distributor.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My name is John. I could not lose the weight I needed to. The Institute for Functional Health Wellness Program was the answer. It included a great deal of testing, supplements, and weekly face-to-face doctor visits. I finally had the accountability I needed. I am now 50 pounds lighter. I no longer have pain in my elbow, back, and hips. I have more energy and just feel and look so much better.
Call for your complimentary consultation, 210-468-1891. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health.
Hey, it's B-Dub, and if you ride a motorcycle, I've got a reminder for you. Smooth rides start with smart choices. Even one drink can turn your ride into a crash waiting to happen. Alcohol affects both your reaction time and your judgment. Don't risk it. Remember, it's not just about getting a DUI. It's about protecting your life and the lives of others you care about on the road. If you've been drinking, don't roll the throttle. Ride sober or get pulled over. Let's keep the thrill of the ride alive and safe. Ride sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
This is the famous footwear that makes us actually want to go back to school, with the newest styles from all your favorite brands like Nike, Adidas, Crocs, Converse, New Balance, Birkenstock, and more. You'll find everything kids want, all at prices parents can appreciate, because you don't have to overspend to make it famous. Famous Footwear even has fit experts in store to make sure you get the right size every time. So, for the perfect fit, make it Famous. Plus, right now, buy one, get one half off when you shop your local Famous Footwear or famous.com. Some exclusions apply.
Nigel, why are you wearing a backpack?
I'm going back to school.
Folks, when your AC decides to flunk out or your home's plumbing is stuck in detention, you don't have to worry. At Quarter Moon Plumbing, AC, and Heating, our technicians are certified with all the latest technology and can fix any plumbing or AC issue fast and at a fair price because you deserve the A+ service.
Gotta go, Joel. We're studying paper mache. I might have to pull an all-nighter.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC. 210-651-5899. License number TACLA 885-898-M16004.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9313. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9313. That's 800-575-9313. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. Appreciate y'all for joining me tonight. I got a chance at some Def Leppard tickets coming up. So stay tuned. One of your last couple of chances to win today here on Extra Innings with Pledge, and then tomorrow all day long on all three shows. 6 to 10 on the Morning Huddle with Rob and AJ, who you just heard. And then on 2 to 4 with the Blitz. Or 2 to 6 on the Blitz with Jason and Joe. And of course, right here on Extra Innings with Pledge. Speaking of the Blitz, they had a jam-packed show today. And joined by Cowboys All-Pro pass rusher Micah Parsons, but also blogging the boys, San Antonio Sports Star's own RJ Ochoa, who's on First Take this morning, or at least a clip of his interview with Emmitt Smith was, if you were paying attention. And he's got to be one of the most frustrated Cowboy fans when it comes to the Joneses' unwillingness to expedite getting these contracts done. And if not, find a way to move on from them if you're not going to get them done so that you can expedite this process of burning things to the ground. Well, Jason and Joe talked with them about just those things earlier this afternoon on the Blitz.
You might be the most frustrated Cowboy fan, but with all the drama that's happened and the inactivity for the Dallas Cowboys, you heard Micah Parsons today talk about CeeDee Lamb. He's not worried. How worried are you becoming?
My level of worry that CD will be in uniform and on the team week 1 when they play the Browns is extremely low. And so, if that happens, I won't be surprised. And if that happens, that won't be some sort of victory, to be very clear, right? Because there will be some people who are still chugging the Kool-Aid that the front office, is recycling from 3 years ago. And they believe that, hey, as long as CD gets done, this was the right way to handle it. The truth of the matter, and this is irrecoverable at this point, is that this was handled in just about the most inefficient manner that it possibly could be. And that's just CD. And that's also just Dak Prescott. And they're on the verge of repeating that same vicious, self-harming cycle with Micah Parsons. And they simply either are too, incompetent to understand that, or they're too ignorant and too unwilling to be, somebody who could change their ways. What's frustrating is that they continue to dig deeper and deeper and deeper. And everybody wants to throw out a point of demarcation. When are you worried? When are you going to panic? Whatever the case may be. I didn't think we would get to August 14th on all of this. We're in the rabbit hole than I ever had plans on, kind of seeing my rations for the trip, my snacks. I burned those like a month ago. You know what I mean? Like, we are truly in the wilderness here. It did not have to be this way, yet somehow, some way, this remains the biggest story with the team.
RJ Ochoa, the editor-in-chief at bloggingtheboys.com here on the Blitz, as he'll join us now. We're in the football season every Wednesday about this time. RJ, I'm with you. I thought when we were in Oxnard, we would see Dak Prescott get his deal. I was kind of hoping for his birthday. It didn't happen. I'm surprised we didn't see CD, and the fact that we're in week 3 and he's still not there. Although Stephen Jones did an interview yesterday with Jory Epstein from Yahoo. And for the first time that I remember, there's actually a deadline spoken about by any of the Joneses or Dak Prescott when Stephen told Jory the goal is to have a deal for Dak done before the start of the regular season. Do you think the idea that he actually said that out loud, said that there was a timeline, a time frame, at least a goal to get it done, that they are maybe closer in their negotiations of getting this deal done for Dak Prescott?
I think it's possible, right? I mean, to your point, it is just the teeniest peek behind, the proverbial curtain, but it's so hard to believe. I mean, again, the fact that we got here after the way they botched the first, set of contract demands and circumstances is truly confounding and truly amazing. And so I have to, I had said, the last kind of 60 days that if the Cowboys packed up in Oxnard and returned home to Frisco, that at that point I would legitimately panic. I would raise the glass case that covers the panic button, and we're just about there. Now, for context and clarity, I suppose, I guess somewhat to that point, Jason, I don't know if either of you know, today is actually the 1-year anniversary of when Zach Martin got his deal that he won. Not an extension, but a rework deal. So I know it feels like we're deeper into things than we were this time a year ago, but to that point, we're now going further than things got with Zach Martin. And I was kind of surprised to hear what Greeny said on McAfee today. I'm sure y'all talked about it and have played it. The national narrative is that these are some incompetent fools, on top of Mount Pius. I mean, I do wonder if that is starting to ring loud because, I mean, find me the person that really believes that the way they're going about this is wise and is the right and proper choice.
Well, it's hard for me to understand anything the Cowboys did this year, I'll be honest with you. But when you're talking about CD Lamb, and we've talked about this before, he's the best player on the team on the offense. Stephen Jones admitted that today. But there's always a caveat, RJ, where he says, yeah, the goal is to do this before the season begins, but we still have to figure out a way to make it work where we can keep all 3 and make sure we can put a team around them. So anytime Jerry or Steven speaks and they say something positive, there's always a caveat at the end of that soundbite.
Yeah, I mean, because, in their mystical, made-up, hypothetical land, playing for the Dallas Cowboys is still, worth something that you should leave money on the table for. They are so willing to overlook the fact that the biggest global superstar in the league plays in Kansas City, Missouri. Half the people that root for him. And so, the fact is that, yes, there are benefits to being a Dallas Cowboy, but not to the degree that they're worth giving up financial or monetary gain. And they're so unwilling to accept that. And maybe there's something deeper to that, right? Like not wanting to accept change. I mean, we all struggle with that in different capacities in life. But to your Joe, they remember when CeeDee Lamb was drafted. I remember this very vividly. Obviously, it was during the COVID draft, and his immediate post-draft interview on the team's flagship station, he was asked kind of in a fun way, "What number do you want to wear?" He said, "I want to wear number 10." And not even 3 hours later, he had 80 jerseys in the pro shop because the Cowboys wanted him to wear 88. Jerry forced this on him. They forced him to become this player. And guess what? He did. He called the shot that you had. He's even better than you could have ever possibly dreamt. He is literally coming off the greatest individual statistical season that any wide receiver has ever had in franchise history. And he did not need that cheeky 17th game last year in order to reach those milestones. So if he, in all of his glory, is not worth rewarding and paying ahead of time, imagine you're Tyler Smith and you're up for negotiations next year. Imagine you're Jake Ferguson. I mean, what kind of message? At some point, this whole thing, if you don't buy the narrative of it all, will pay its toll. No offense to Jake Ferguson. He's not CD or Dak or Micah Parsons. So if CD has to go to hell and back to get what he deserves, what are you going to have to do? it's no wonder, obviously, that they don't get any free agents. I don't think it's a matter of being unwilling to anymore. I think some people are like, you know what? I don't want to deal with this.
And again, that's the circus that Jerry loves as we visit with RJ Ochoa, campaigning to be a new agent for CeeDee Lamb, although everything you're saying is absolutely right, especially when the Cowboys love to tell us we like to draft, develop, and pay our guys. Then do it.
It's very difficult. In fact, that's a great point, Jason, and I might write about this and not give you a shred of credit.
You never do.
If you trace it back, so CeeDee was the team's first-round draft pick in 2020. They did not have one in 2019 because they had traded it for Amari Cooper. Leighton Vander Esch was the first-round pick in 2018. He did not get an extension with the team. If you recall, they declined his fifth-year option and ultimately did sign him to a one-year deal after that. But the year before, in 2017, was Taco Charlton. Obviously, he didn't get a second deal at the team. The last player to be taken in the first round to kind of live up to the mantra that you described that they love to proclaim proudly, Jason, was Zeke Elliott in 2016. He was a first-round pick, obviously, number 4 overall. And after his third year, even he still had to, after obviously an incredibly decorated first 3 years in the NFL, hold out deep into, things into September before he got what he wanted. And they caved. So it's been 8 years since they actually were the draft a guy in the first round, pay him early on, and be a forward-thinking franchise. But there are so many people who seem to believe it because I have no idea.
Well, RJ, let me ask you this then, because when we were out in Oxnard, we had Stephen Jones on the air with us here on the Blitz, and he said that a contract offer had been offered to both Dak and to CD at that time. Well, obviously nothing's happened. So let me ask you, what is the holdup? It can't just be about money, can it?
I mean, I think a lot of times, Joe, money is the answer, right? You ever have a problem and you throw money at it and it goes away? I mean, that's kind of what this is. And the Cowboys are notorious for this, right? They're notorious for, lowballing players and trying to get them to take less and fighting through the media and trying to push the agenda that they have to take less in the name of the greater good, despite the fact that other teams are able to solve this just incredibly difficult riddle. And I think the reality of the situation is they do not seem willing to accept that at some point you have to set the market. There are no exceptions to this rule. If you have a franchise player at one of the money 5 positions, obviously quarterback, wide receiver, and pass rusher are among those 5, you have to eat the crap. You have to eat the poop. At some point, it has to be your turn. Even the cheap Cincinnati Bengals understood the premise and were willing to set the market when it comes to Joe Burrow. You can whine, San Antonio Sports Star listeners, you can cry, you can tweet at Jason and Joe about how Dak Prescott isn't as good as Joe Burrow. Welcome to the world of supply and demand. I'm exhausted with trying to explain this in analogies. If buying a house or a television like Jason's 80-inch or a car, whatever the case may be. These are the rules of economics. These are the rules of the real world and not the old school television show on MTV that is near and dear to my heart. And the Cowboys do not want to operate within the parameters of the real world of the rules. And because of that, they let this situation reach a place where the players involved have an enormous amount of leverage against them. They've let it happen with CD, they've let it happen with Dak, and they're on the verge of, while they're dealing with those two situations, letting it happen with Micah Parsons.
RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com. Really didn't want to spend this whole time talking contracts, yet here we are. That's what the Cowboys are doing. Are we being too unfair and critical of the Cowboys? They're not the only team that has players holding out. They're not the only team that has contract situations. The Jets are dealing with this right now. So are the 49ers. There was, until Tua finally got paid, a lot of questions about Tua. This isn't a problem that is just singularly that of Jerry and Stephen Jones and the Dallas Cowboys.
I think that would be a fair point if they hadn't burned up the benefit of the doubt. You look at the Zach Martin situation a year ago. You look at the fact that Zeke Elliott had to hold out. You look at the fact that Des Bryant and that situation kind of went down to the 11th hour when he was on the franchise tag 9 years ago. I mean, this seems to be, by all measure and all objective evidence, a systemic issue for the Cowboys. You're right. The Niners are definitely dealing with it. But the Niners, obviously, last year paid Nick Bosa. Now, he obviously held out as well, and that's worth mentioning. But the Niners are in a different situation where the Niners have a quarterback on a key contract. People love to bring that up. And to that point, the Cowboys not only failed but galactically failed to capitalize on their quarterback when he was on a rookie contract. And so there's all these people that say, oh, well, you have to give less, Dak, you have to give less, CD, because they need more. More for what? What are they going to, like, they have a proven track record that is now over a decade long of being unwilling to spend. And so I think when you add up all the layers of context, it's easier to say, okay, yeah, the Jets, they're in their own world of crap. And the Niners, they're in a small world of crap, but they're going to figure things out and beat the Cowboys anyway, because that's what they do. The Cowboys can't even beat the Niners. They lost to the Jets last time they played them, or rather, last time they visited them. They obviously beat them last year. And now, again, the fact that this is the case when it was so predictable, it was known last year that this was going to happen with CD and with Dak, and they didn't care. They let this, fester, and they let this grow and grow and grow and grow. If this was a brand new situation, hey, maybe I'm willing to give them a little bit of benefit here, but they really have burned all that up in my mind.
Just a little bit of pushback, RJ, because when you're talking about paying a quarterback $60 million, and that's by all estimations is what Dak Prescott is you could say he's worth, asking for, whatever the case may be, on another long-term contract, if it is that. That's a lot of money. Jason and I have been talking about this. Dak is going to make $29 million this year, but he's counting $55 million against the cap, and $40 million next year if they don't get something done. At some point in time, the bills come due, and you have to figure it out. Now, whether it's the Cowboys' fault or not, because inevitably they end up paying these guys. They do. It may take them longer than you like, I like, Jason likes, or anybody likes, but eventually they do pay these guys. But those bills do come due, and having a quarterback that's the highest paid, especially if you're looking at a $60 million number, that can't be easy to fit everybody in.
That's true, and the bill definitely comes due. And people said, Joe, to your point, you can't pay Dak $40 million a year. There's just no way. You can't do it. It's impossible. And now you look, at $40 million a year is an incredible bargain. And it sounds ridiculous to say, but in 2 years, $60 million a year will look like an incredible bargain. Come to the world of the NFL on television in the United States. In the world, it's the most popular league outside of the Premier League. So that's part of the context, that you have to be willing to look long-term, and they don't want to, as much as they say they're allocating things for the future. And beyond that overall idea, getting an extension done with Prescott, had they done so in March, like we all with brains recommended them towards doing so, they would have lowered his cap hit for this year. They would have massaged that number for this year and had money to go out and spend to add players to, help the team in the current moment. The same goes for CeeDee Lamb. And that would be a smart idea if you were good at drafting players and building through the draft the way they love to brag about being. So it completely runs counterculture to the things that they love to tell everybody when they're behind microphones.
That was RJ Ochoa joining Jason Minix and Joe Reinagle on the Blitz earlier today, right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. What are your thoughts about it? Jacob Eric says on our YouTube feed, RJ is 100% right. And I get the frustration, and I get that some people, Cowboy fans, don't like Dak Prescott. But the truth of the matter is, it is 100% easier to get to the playoffs and give yourselves a shot at pick your quarterback, Brett Favre, John Elway, Peyton Manning. None of them won it in their first 6 to 8 years either. It took multiple swings at the tree to get there and get themselves in a position. So walking away from a quarterback when there's usually only about 13 to 14 in the league at a time that you can even trust to get you to the playoffs almost every year, that is something that I find incredibly difficult to walk away from and turn your back on. What say you? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure, my man. How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great, man. What's going on, brother?
Along the lines of that re-air from this morning, if the Cowboys decide they just, they can be fine without Lamb and he decides to leave, as a former Buffalonian, could you see him being interesting to the Bills?
I absolutely could, because the Bills have a desperate need at that position after losing their top three receivers, leaving Khalil Shakir as their number one receiver de facto until they drafted Keon Coleman. So yes, they need help at that position after losing Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs. And multiple other players on both sides of the ball, if we're being honest.
But could the price be too high? Like what it seems like the 49ers want too much from us.
Look, as it pertains to CeeDee Lamb, it would probably take a haul in return if you are trading for him. If you were to trade for a CeeDee Lamb, I'm guessing it'd cost you a first-round pick and potentially maybe Keon Coleman.
Okay. Yeah, I think that Josh has too much vested in Coleman, and so does McDermott, and some of the veterans they signed. That I think they're going to ignore it for now, but they're going to keep an eye on it. Thank you very much.
You got it. Call back anytime.
All right. Have a good day.
You too. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure. More of your phone calls. And we've got Micah Parsons, the Cowboys all-pro pass rusher. He joined the Blitz as well. I'll let you hear some of that interview. And, of course, everything is available online in the audio vault at sasportstar.com if you want to go back and listen to stuff in its entirety. But coming up next, Micah Parsons joined the Blitz. What did he have to say about Mike Zimmer, about his trip abroad this summer, and about the contract situations that are facing the Cowboys, including his own? We'll let you hear it next, right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM and sasportstar.com.
94.1 FM.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-70. That's 210-615-7777 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
If you're a man and you live in or around the San Antonio area, you need to listen to this message. Do you find yourself stressing about or even avoiding intimate moments? Do you find yourself thinking, is it going to work? Does your partner look at you and ask, is it me? Did I do something wrong? Do you get frustrated when things don't live up to their expectations? Men, you're not alone, and we have a solution. For over a decade, Mojo has delivered 100% guaranteed male performance results. Mojo truly works every single time. Guys, Mojo works when all other things fail, and its proprietary formula has helped thousands of men live their best lives again. Yeah! Mojo is 100% natural, blood pressure safe, diabetic friendly, and fast acting. And Mojo is now available in both spray and capsule formulas exclusively at Pure Line Nutrition. Call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today at 210-494-2210. That's Pure Line Nutrition, 210-494-2210.
What's wrong?
My travel rewards card didn't earn enough miles for my vacation.
Are you crying? Are you crying because of that other credit card?
Uh-huh.
Well, switch to the Capital One Venture card. Venture lets you redeem miles on any travel purchase.
Really?
Yep. And you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every single day. The Capital One Venture Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed, plus free home delivery on select smart beds when you add any base. Limited time. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Hey guys, Jason Minix here. Let's talk weight loss, energy, and muscle tone. Are the dad bod jokes too frequent for you these days? Well, the testosterone experts at Synergenics are known for advanced TRT treatment, but they're also experts with GLP-1 weight loss medications. At Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss, you get TRT test results on your first visit, and you can also be evaluated for prescription weight loss treatment. Book your appointment at synergenicshealth.com. That's synergenxhealth.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM, sasportsstar.com. I am James Pledger. Wanted your reaction? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Ray dialed in. Ray, what's going on, man? Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Hey, Pledge. Thanks for taking my call, but I listen to you all the time, man.
I appreciate that, man. What you got for me?
No, I'm actually calling because I'm a diehard Cowboy fan. I've been since 9 years old. And, yes, Cowboys are in a tough situation with the whole Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb. But if Jerry Jones really doesn't think that Dak is the future, yes, we have him this year, and he's not going to want to pay him, then you need to trade CeeDee Lamb. And I hate saying that because I do believe that Lamb is a top 3 receiver. But if you're not going to roll with Dak, you're going to have no quarterback next year. And there's no way Cowboys can pay a top 3 receiver without a quarterback who's going to get him the ball.
Do you agree with what Minnesota's doing to where they paid their top receiver, obviously drafted what they believe is their quarterback of the future?
I don't know, because with Jefferson is a different deal. I mean, I think he is probably the top receiver, but I do think they overpaid him. I do, because we don't know what McCarthy's going to do now he's lost for the year. I really don't think they have a lot of confidence in Sam Darnold, but now that's what they're going to be stuck with. So I don't know if Jefferson's going to have this top year like he has before, because I don't think he's going to have the quarterback to give him the ball. And I think that's what's going to happen next year. If Jerry Jones really doesn't think that Dak is the guy, he's not going to want to keep him, then Lamb is just going to be this high-paid receiver with a quarterback who's not going to get a ball. I don't think anybody thinks that Trey Lance is ready for that job yet. I don't think he is. He has potential, but yeah, he's not. So he has not it. And so if you got to pay Dak, or if you're really thinking he's not the one, then you ride out with him this year because he has that no trade clause, and start building it, and you can get good assets for Lamb.
So would you pay Micah then, because they're going to go through what they're going through with CD this year, next year with Micah?
Yes, because I think at least you got to have something to still try help a young quarterback and something like that. A solid defense is it. You still have Diggs. We have some other up-and-coming players. And, yes, Michael Parsons is they always say the toughest position to get quarterbacks, left tackle, and a pass rusher. And Cowboys have the pass rusher. So, yes, you got to pay Parsons.
I appreciate it, Ray. Thanks for calling in, man.
Hey, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it.
That is Ray joining me, as maybe you got to get rid of him, but as we're talking about Micah, you got to pay him. The Blitz have Micah Parsons on this afternoon at 4:00. And of course you can catch it always in our audio vault at sasportsstar.com. But they talked about a multitude of things, including those contracts.
The man of the hour, Cowboys linebacker Micah Parsons, joining us on the Buyers Barricades guest line. courtesy of our friends from USAA, right off the practice field. Micah, joint practice with the Los Angeles Rams. Kind of weird to have them in a game and then have another practice against them. But how much more work do you get out of a joint practice like what you guys had today?
You get great looks because, I think McVay is a great mind, and I think it's interesting because you get more of the ones-on-ones good work since we missed the game, so you kind of get that extra work that we didn't get on Sunday and get the looks that we need to prepare us for week one. So, I think, it was kind of, starters based, and I thought it was a good practice.
Michael, when you look at it and you look at that defense, I mean, it really seems to be shaping up and with what Zimmer is doing with you. And you saw Trayvon Diggs today with the pick. That defense looks like it's really coming along. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, yeah, we're coming along in the right way, man. Zimmer's he's a beast. We're turning up. I think we're looking for a great bounce back year, and we're just trying to, adapt to everything that's in front of us and make a huge jump.
Micah Parsons joining us here on the Blitz. We didn't get a chance to visit with you in our tent one-on-one when we were in Oxnard during that first full week of camp. But while we were out there, we saw you moving around quite a bit. Do you like the way Mike Zimmer is using you, at least in the early parts of training camp?
Oh, of course. I mean, me and Zimmer, we meet every morning, go over the X's and O's and how he wants to use me, what's his vision, and obviously he tells me if I agree with it, do I see the same thing. And, I think it's a very good relationship, and, I think I can have a dominant year in his system.
Michael, let me ask you a question because I obviously, and this happens from time to time in camps, you got the contract with CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. How do you guys put that in the rearview mirror in the back of your mind when you go through practice as you prepare? Is it difficult to do that day to day?
No, man. I mean, at the end of the day, this is my job. This is my career. This is how I see my children. This is how, I take care of my family. So, that kind of stuff, that's another man business. I can only focus on what I can focus on and, do what I need to do. So one day I could be here for a long time too. So you kind of just let them handle what they got to handle, and I got to handle the day-to-day. Because when CD does join this team, he has to be joining a contending team that's ready to make a run for playoffs and a Super Bowl. So, we got to handle what's in front of us on an everyday basis.
And so I guess what you're saying, in the locker room with the guys, it's not a conversation. But when you're faced with the media, we've got questions about it. And you answered a lot yesterday on the podium, pretty confident that CD is going to be there week one and has been keeping up with everything. Can you kind of update us on what your conversations, what you can share, Micah, with CD as he is keeping up with what's going on in Oxnard, even though he's not there?
Yeah, CD's active, man. He's always in his playbook. I mean, we're sending him the playbooks, and he's a vet in the system. Obviously, having a year under Mike McCarthy, he's watching the film, he's seeing how things look. He likes what's going on. I mean, just gotta let his business side handle the business side. But in terms of being ready, football ready, I don't see nobody working as hard as TD. So I know he's gonna come in ready and make that jump for us.
Mike, I know you pride yourself on being able to do a lot of things on the football field. Obviously, as a pass rusher, as a linebacker. Running back, is that something that you want to do, and are they talking about that?
Yeah, that's something I want to do. Mike McCarthy said if I got hurt playing running back, he'll just walk off the field and never come back. So
that was Micah Parsons joining the Blitz earlier today on behalf of USAA as they got this great thing going. You can sign up for win a chance to play on the big screen at Jerry World, a game of Madden 25 against Micah Parsons. Sign up details. Jason Minix has them on his Twitter at Jason Minix. Joe Reinagle has them at Joe Reinagle 210. And Micah Parsons on his Twitter. You can find the information on how to sign up for that via USAA. And, of course, the full interview is at sasportstar.com. Coming back, we're going to put a bow on the show and get you ready for the rest of the night and tomorrow. That's coming up here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Calling all brothers and sisters of the league. Come to 49 Cigars in the village of Stone Oak, Suite 101, where game is always on and cigars are always premium. Enjoy a fine selection of cigars in our unique lounge. And remember, it's BYOB, 49cigars.com.
Philo's got a world of entertainment for you to explore with just one subscription. Sign up today and start watching all the networks you love, like A&E, MTV, Discovery, VH1, TLC, Lifetime, Hallmark Channel, and so much more. Featuring current seasons of all the best drama, true crime, reality, and family-friendly shows you can't afford to miss. And with up to 3 streams at once, you'll never have to fight about what to watch. Get started today and unlock our library of over 75,000 movies and shows, and save all your favorites with the unlimited DVR, so you can rewatch them anytime, anywhere, for up to a year. Philo now includes access to AMC Plus. You can discover your next obsession from its collection of hit originals like Mad Men, The Walking Dead, Killing Eve, Orphan Black, and tons of blockbuster movies. There are no contracts, no commitments, and no hassles. For just $28 a month, Philo's a better way to watch TV. So what are you waiting for? Visit philo.tv and sign up today to start your 7-day free trial. That's philo.tv.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Why wait for the weekend? Twin Peaks is serving scratch food and pouring quality cocktails every day after dark. Visit a Twin Peaks near you and experience the best late night in the league. Today, tomorrow, or any day of the week. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Have you or a family member been arrested? The law office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, can help regardless of the legal battle you are facing, personal injury or criminal defense. Attorney Jesse Hernandez and his team are ready to fight for you. Calls are answered 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. Call 210-807-8656 or visit jessehernandezlaw.com. That's 210-807-8656 or jessehernandezlaw.com. The law office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla.
My name is Jessica. Years ago, I was diagnosed with a thyroid condition. I slept all the time, was fatigued, had no energy, and a bad attitude. Now I've lost 50 pounds and I'm still losing. My medications have been scaled back, my emotions are stable, and I have lots of energy. People at work say I'm happy, perky, and my husband says he's not walking on eggshells around me any longer. The Institute for Functional Health changed my life.
Call for your complimentary consultation, 210-468-1891. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health.
Hi, everybody. Scott Innes here. For 25 years, I've been voicing lovable cartoon dogs like Scooby-Doo, Astro. Hey, I love puppies and dogs. And now I get to help pets that need a voice to save their lives. That's where the Puppy Food Bank comes in. The Puppy Food Bank helps pet rescue organizations so they can feed puppies. For just $11 a month, you can save a pet's life. Go to and donate, and they'll send you a nice gift. Puppy Food Bank is proudly supported by Thomas J. Henry.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportsstar.com. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me this evening. Lots we got into today. Micah Parsons, RJ Ochoa, LeBron's legacy, and of course, as I promised, those of y'all that stay to the end, Def Leppard tickets. You've got your chance to win right now if you call in 656-ESPN, 656-3776. Caller number 13, lucky number 13. You get to go see Def Leppard out at the Alamo Dome this Friday as they are with Steve Miller Band and Journey. So if you want a pair of tickets, feel free, call in right now. Caller number 13, 210-656-3776. Wanted to hook up those that stayed till the end of the show. And of course, I appreciate each and every one of y'all. We never know what people are going through in their daily lives. So make sure to reach out to those that you care about. Just let them know you're thinking about them. You never know what a text can do. This has been Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We'll see you tomorrow.
San Antonio Sports Star.
I don't feel so good.
You do feel hot.